Welcome again to our podcast. As promised, I will inform you that will be brought in the podcast different scholars, activists, and so on. Today we are also with a prominent person in SIAS, prominent figure in SIAS. Madam, you are welcome.
Thank you.
So even though it's not your first time of being here, our viewers would like you to introduce yourself so that they get to know you more.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Dunya Ahmed. My PhD is in social science. I finished my master and PhD from UK, and I'm really passionate about the socio-economical issue. I've done a lot of research and my study specialities in women and gender, people with disabilities, and I did work with them and active in several NGOs. Nationally, regionally, and internationally, and also I'm active in publications. But now, really, I'm working as as soon as we get accredited, proposed vice chancellor for SIAS,
Okay,
and I'm being also a co-founder of the SIAS as well, along with Dr. Mohammed Bouhaji, the main founder.
Okay, that sounds very important in the eyes and ears of those who are following us, because they need to know more about SIAS. Maybe there may be some people who are it's their first time to hear about SIAS. If you are asked to describe SIAS, not in many words, how do you describe it?
SIAS is an institution to help in social economical issues,
Yes.
mainly. So it can be via projects, via academic program, via initiatives, via partnerships through their publications, different tools. All these tools is to serve the socio-economical issue. This is in a few words.
Okay. Has SIAS started operating already on?
Since our first visit to Rwanda, now it's more than 2 years when we first came and we tried. As a building and infrastructures, I can say since last April it was there, where we started some of our things. Maybe we started some of the projects even earlier, even if some of them were not successful, and we are continuing doing these projects. So SIAS, yes, is operating now by doing some workshops, leading the African Development Lab that we are having, doing some activities here and there. But okay, it's not, I can't say also it's fully operated, especially in the academic side. Maybe it's operated in the project side, it's doing the researches and others, but still also we do have another elements that we are hoping to get accredited as soon as possible.
Okay. Among your current activities that SIAS is currently doing, you said there are researches, there are projects, workshops, forums. Are you getting some positive feedback from what you are doing, or what are you getting from those ones, from the people? Because as you introduced yourself and the institute, you are community oriented.
Mm-hmm.
So are you noticing the impact that you are making?
First of all, maybe you are closer to the community, and especially being a Rwandi, maybe you hear it in a different way. We always say for every project and every community, there are insiders and outsiders. And normally, each of us see the things from different angle, part of it. Our way of thinking, it's different than other way of thinking. Maybe in most of the world, people are used for any international organization that they come, especially if they want to work in the social things, that they are charity driven.
Yes.
They should give a charity. Or people are used for an economical, investors come and they want to do entrepreneurships and to be a businessman and entrepreneur. Our concept is little bit different to the people.
Yeah.
We are not doing a social charity, and we are not entrepreneurial driven. And here where some people get confused. So some people, especially when we want to start projects, some of the compliments, because they are not able to understand us. They think that, okay, if we are having money, we should give them as a charity, and then they should have it. It's not about a project that we want them to develop. Or some people come and propose. When we say propose projects, they propose purely a business proposal. So here where some of the people, until we are getting we have a long trip to make a mutual understanding between us and our partners, and not all our partners, even until now, understand us on the same level. Maybe one of the good things that we've done yesterday, we had a very good workshop with our partners, that we were trying to get better understanding of what we are, why we are like this, and people who try to work with us in a longer, they understand us. Some of the people, they want quick wins. They think, okay, let me take it, I'll start the business, and then I'll not get back to them, and they think this is the way they want it. And normally I'll not say they will not get successful as the way we want it. Okay, I will not say they fail, but they don't develop in the way. Some people who work in the charity, they take the money, and instead of working in the projects, they get the initial things. Some of them, for example, food or initial things, they think it was more important, and then they stay in the same level, so they don't get developed. So one of our main obstacles is to get the partners to understand our way. And this is not only in Rwanda and SIAS, we have faced this in different countries.
Okay, how are you coping with that?
How are we coping? By the workshop we've done yesterday. If I tell you, it was one of the tools. We try to explain more how is our business models. And here the role of the follow-ups is very important. And maybe here it's your role and the team here in SIAS. That's why they need to really make a good follow-up. So they make sure that we are always on the track. You know, when you are on the road, you always want to make sure you are on the road. You are not in the other ways that will take you out of the way that you want to go. To make sure that they have to look at the big goal that they want. We have a milestones, because sometimes we get busy with these small stops here and there that we stop in our journey, and we forget the milestone.
Yeah.
So here it's the role of the team, how to make this follow-up. And that's why, when we say that we are not funding an institution.
Yeah.
And even when we are giving some of the projects for the starts, we are not giving a big amount, because this is like an Arabic things that's we say it in Arabic language, that when you have something big and you swallow it, will stop here.
Yeah.
If you are not used to it. So sometimes having the small things, it will be easier to digest and swallow. And this is how we are doing in our projects until we get it to the full stomach, but in a small, easy way to digest, instead of having these other ways of thinking. Giving charity, then it will not be utilized in the right way, or other ways of thinking that they're giving loans, then they are going to have they are going to be lagging more behind.
Yeah, okay. Doctor, you have just showed that it seems to be difficult now for people to grasp your concept. Do you think that it will not take you a long time for the people to understand your policies and your concepts? Because there is an obvious clash between your policies and what people are used to. Don't you think that it will take you a long time for them to get used to your programs on?
No, I don't think that our concept is like a very difficult equation or physics. It's just they are not used to.
Yes.
And we've tried this in different areas in Africa and in different continents also. So, but the most important rule, was the people who were doing the follow-ups.
Yes.
Why we were successful in some projects and some no. Okay, there are different elements, but one of the main things, it's the follow-up, especially in the beginning.
Yes.
When you have a child at home and you want to teach him something, when he is younger, you spend more time in teaching him. A mother spend more time in starting from how to hold the pen, how to write the letter, until they grow up. When they grow up, you just give a normal direction as a parent. You spend less time on the day-to-day process, but you give a better time in the longer journey and vision. The projects are the same. When they are very junior, you need to give more follow-ups at the beginning, so you make sure that this child is able to stand, to walk, to write, until he becomes mature, and then this project can help other projects as a prototype.
Yes. So you are also doing projects, and you have published a lot about. You have even raps that will be talking later in our podcasts. What's your current project?
Where?
The current project that you are working on in terms of research.
We have lots of things. Are you talking as a SIAS or as a Dunya?
No, as a SIAS. I'm asking you about SIAS.
Okay, as a SIAS, of course, we do have different labs. The African Development Labs is one of the main labs that we do have a lot of publication in. We have also a publication about Gaza. Okay, and also there are lots of publications about it. And of course, the Inspiration Economy or Socio-Economical Issue Labs is always there, covering this umbrella with different issues.
Okay. So,
and before that, for example, and always you can see that our labs and projects that we do, the researches is vibrant with what's happening in the world. I mean, when there was COVID, time of COVID, we have this lab of COVID, and we did have, you can see the box there, lots of publication about it. And even for after COVID, with the Gaza issue, we are talking about the issue. So it's we are not like very rigid. That's okay. I'm just doing this topic, and some researchers, they shut their eyes from what's happening in the world. I'm just starting this research, so I'll finish this. But if the things are changes, you need to change also, and to be always updated with what's happening.
Okay, good. Thank you. So SIAS is operating in Rwanda. Mm-hmm. So you can say that its headquarters is in Rwanda, because inshallah it may have other branches in other countries. But are you also doing some research or studies in Rwanda? I mean, about Rwanda as a country or communities in Rwanda?
Of course. I mean, I think one of the main studies that we've submitted about Rwanda, there was the study of the case of Rwanda and the youth, the visibility study, which covered a lot about them. One of the main researches that we are working in now, it's the NEETs, which is abbreviation for not in employment, not in education, not in a training for the youth. And this is maybe a hot topic around the world that people are talking about, and maybe it's one of the most important things, because these are the most dangerous and valuable groups in each and every country. And that's why one of our SIAS, we thought our responsibility is to study the needs in Rwanda.
Yes, what is the main objective of that?
It's anything you can't measure, you can't improve, we say.
Yes.
So to know this country, you need to measure. And if we are saying that we are doing a socio-economical projects, we want them to continue studying their master and PhD. So that means we are targeting people who are in needs.
Yes.
Okay, we are targeting working people, expert people, but we need to know for who our projects are targeting. And to know them, we need to do a case study about them.
Yes.
I can't say I'm doing a research about women without women being involved in studying the women issue, right, or about people with disability and they are not involved. Some of the classical old way of strategies, and they used to do this. And that's why always if you go to the impact of it, it's always not as we wished. because the people were not involved and well studied.
Yes.
When we say it's different, when I say my perception and socioeconomy, we believe that one size will not fit all. That means if I have projects even in another country in Africa, or maybe even outside Kigali, and it had this result, it doesn't mean that I repeat it again in the same way. I take the lesson learned,
Yes.
but always we have to change according, and that's why we insist in every and each project. And this was one of the also main issues between us and our partners.
Yes.
That first thing we have to do is study. We need to have a measures, because without measures you are not going to be
To know what to improve.
and you are not going to be a developer.
Yes. Okay. This study seems to be very useful and interesting. So will it help SIAS, or it will also help the government or other holders or other development activists to do something?
Of course, we hope that this study will give like all initial data for everyone. One of our things that we believe in SIAS, and maybe mainly the founder, Dr. Mohammed Bouhaji, that we are open book. All our researches can be downloaded freely from our websites and ResearchGates account and Google Scholar and etc. So whenever we do a study, we publish it, and all the numbers are there. And always we are willing for others to use our data as a secondary data. And we feel that this is one of our obligations to keep things. We don't hide the information, and we make it available. And we want it to be useful, as much as to be useful for academics and politicians, to be also useful for the youth themselves.
Yes, yes. So
changing their lives.
By the getting data, you will also conduct surveys. Let's know the information from the people of the different parts of the country. So will you cover all the provinces of the country, or all this and all numbers the same, or the country will take more than people than others?
As far, I'm not on the team of collecting data,
yes,
but the way we made it, that we need to cover all the province. That's why in the survey, one of the main questions is the province, and then we can divide the data according to the province, and then we can do the correlations. So one of the main targets is to make sure about their nationality, their residency, and then where are they from, which province. Because here where the correlations will be different, because as I told you, one size will not fit all.
yes,
And then even within Kigali, we'll think of people, the projects in a different way than from other province, and we will let the numbers speak, because not necessarily that always people on the city are having more jobs, because sometimes in the provinces there are different opportunities there.
yes,
than they are in the cities. So of course we need to cover all provinces, and if any province were not covered or not well covered even in the survey, this will be said in the data, and that will be one of the shortage of the studies. The numbers will be there and we will cover things, but our aims is to target all the provinces. But if it didn't, also we will say it.
So is there no any other research or not other study that has been published in Rwanda, for instance, by one of Rwanda's or international research organ that say about the need?
To be honest, I'm not really very aware of all the researchers and study. Maybe Dr. Mohammed Bouhaji and Dr. Emmanuel, the director, they are more closely to these data. But I know that we will not start a study, a new survey, unless we found that there is a gap and it's not there.
Yes.
You will not do a research if you find a data having this. You will do a secondary analysis. We are not reinventing the wheel.
Yes.
Of course, we find the gap this was not well covered in the way that we were aiming. Okay, I'll just put this disclaimer. For the time period that we were aiming in the way that we want, that way we are doing. Yani there is no researchers going to do a same research in the same way in the same period if the data's there. Because if it's there, it's saving you a lot of time and energy and everything.
Okay. So our followers may also be like, for example, if you found a gap, how do you, they would like to know your style of problem solving. How do you solve such a problem? For example, the gap is observed and it's available and you have found it within your research and you have published it in the study. Just brief them about your approaches in problem solving as SIAS.
See, we are not going as a problem solver. We are not having this stick.
Yeah.
And we don't bring ideas.
Yes.
What we do, we find opportunities in the problems. So from there, we start the projects. It's easy to bring in ideas. And most of the failures, it's because an expert come and give you an idea. Oh, Raisa, by the way, why you don't do this? Because I have done this back home.
Yes.
You can do it. Okay, whatever I've done as a Dunya, as a person, even in the same country, but if the mediator is someone else, facilitator, it's going to have a different results. But when I see what are the problems there, and one of our main things, that's the most important things for us in the project is the human.
Yes, yes.
We study the human, and then everything is around the human.
Yes.
And that's what differentiates us with the others. I mean, it's not about how I want to make more profits. Okay, we want to make more profit to improve the quality of life of this human.
Yes.
So that's why we don't study the project itself. We study how the lifestyle has changed. The quality of life have changed. The quality, when we say quality of life, the education, food, hygiene, everything. So it's how the project is affecting the whole life, rather than taking only direct results that, the growth in number or in monies and these things. And that's what differentiates us from the capital economy.
Yes, have you applied your approaches somewhere, or you can also to sound good if you give us an example? We applied this in this place and it got successful. Maybe the failures may be available, but as I hear your approach or anyone person also, failures are not problem for you because you run from them. But did you apply those approach somewhere and they got successful?
Of course, although we can't say that all our projects were successful. And here, measuring successful, it's different the way you do it.
Yes.
With a direct result, you can say, yes, I give them the money. Yes, there was a change. That means you are 100% successful.
Yes.
Now, if it was sustainable, here, this is our problem. And always we measure sustainability in the first 3 years, the first 5 years, then 10 years projects, and then we count this project as successful. And to be fair, that we've started like from 10 years, so we do have very few projects that sustains for 10 years. And here, that's how the follow-ups at the beginning affected these things. We do have projects. Maybe you want me to give an example, right? You asked me for an example.
Yes, yes.
I will think of example in Africa.
Yes.
To make it a little bit easier, not from another continent, even if it's less than a 10-year. It's about the camel wool waving project. It's a project, and we've done it in Mauritania.
Yeah.
Where they had already a factory that they were producing with the wool waving machines, carpets at that time. But they had lots of a problem, this factory, and this factory were sold from the investors to businesswomen NGOs in Mauritania, where, because most of the people who were working in this factory were women, and then where this factory and this businesswoman NGOs were trying to sell these carpets to some of the embassies there, and at least by saying that this is women, and few were sold because of the just to empower and help women.
Yes.
Now, the time that Dr. Mohammed Bouhaji, he reached there, this is one of the projects that I didn't visit Mauritania, to be honest.
Unfortunately.
Okay, what?
Unfortunately.
Yes, so Dr. Mohammed Bouhaji, who was there, with, of course, our partners who work there. It was a time that this factory was about to get a fund from another rich country to improve the factory. How did they want to improve the factory?